If you had $1,000 to build a complete gaming and streaming setup, including the desk, the PC, the peripherals, everything, how would you spend it? Well, I gave myself that challenge, and the first thing I bought was the cheapest and smallest table from IKEA with 4 legs, and look at that, it's completely damaged. I've never had this happen with something I bought from IKEA, but look at this corner, it's completely damaged. Now I have to say I was a bit concerned when I saw it got shipped to me like this instead of delivered to me from IKEA with their truck. Now I still think that these IKEA tables are a great buy when you're on a budget. The legs that came with it are IKEA Adils. My editor will put the name on the screen, but it's hard to damage these, so they will be in a good condition. Now, if you're buying this table, I would recommend getting it in IKEA. Just go to the store, get everything you need, because as you can see, if they send it to you, there's always a possibility that it breaks during shipping. Now, these legs are very popular. They are very easy to install, and there are 2 options. So as you can see, this one here is a fixed leg. You cannot extend it. It's just this height and it stays like that. And then this one is a bit more expensive, but this one can be loosened and then it can be extended and then tightened. This is of course much more useful because then you can choose the height of your desk. However, today I didn't have the budget for it. And what you get is 5 screws, then this plate. So the first thing you do is you screw on this plate onto the desk, and then you just take the leg and just screw it onto that, and just like that, one is connected. You can make tiny adjustments to the leg here to change the height a bit in case your floor isn't really leveled, but that's pretty much the only adjustment you can make with these fixed legs. Alright, so all legs are connected. Now, before we go on with spending our budget, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Own. Own.tv has a huge library of graphics packs that are of the highest quality and that are all completely animated. One of my favorite packs is the Dark series. When you're on the page of a specific graphics pack, you can click on Live Demo, and with this tool you can test everything that's inside of the pack. You can see how the alert looks, you can click on Overlays on the top and then on Scene Transition, and you will see exactly how it will look on your stream. My code TVN always has 50% off. I will link it in the description. Now, besides graphics, you can for example also find the emote makers. This is a static one, but this is an animated emote maker, and you can simply upload a picture from your PC. For example, this is a profile picture of mine, and just like that you can transform it into an animated emote. For example, money falling, or this here is pretty funny. It's like people can spam this, for example, if you lose a game, and you just select the ones you buy like this. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets per emote. The link is own.gg/tvn. Now, I really hope that this table is going to be big enough, but I think it actually will. We will probably have enough room for like 1 main monitor and then 1 side monitor right here for reading chat and all that stuff. And let's be honest, it'll mostly be for when you're working here on your main monitor, like for school or for work or whatever, to watch TV shows or YouTube on the second screen, because that's why I use mine. So I'm gonna put it right here. Now, unfortunately, the desk got damaged during transit. However, I think it's an amazing option as a budget desk. So we are definitely unlucky here, but this is one of the cheapest desks I found. Now, for the monitors, I've got 2 of them. This one here is a monitor. Let me show you. This one is from Scepter. This is the best-selling monitor on Amazon, and I've used it before. There's a reason why it is the best-selling one. It's a great option. It is 24-inch, 1080p, 75 Hz, and it's cheaper than the main brand options that offer the same thing. And then as the second monitor, I've got a smaller one because this is mainly for reading chat and managing the stream, or like watching something on your second screen. And I didn't really expect it to arrive like this, because this is like Wish.com products or AliExpress. They all arrive looking like this, but I assume the reason is that it's a very cheap monitor, and we're going to add this to the setup first. So in the box comes a stand, then the second part of the stand, the charger, and then the screen itself, which to be fair is pretty flat. Like, look at this. I simply screw the stand onto the monitor. Now, we're not going to be using a monitor arm because, well, this is a budget setup. A monitor arm is a luxury. So after that, we should be able to just turn and click this into the stand. Yep, like this. Look at that, we have more than enough space. So the monitor can tilt like this, but that's pretty much the only thing it can do. Now, I would love to be able to put the PC on the desk, but when we have a second monitor, I don't really think, well, I know it's not gonna be possible, but for now, I'm gonna put it here. Now, for the PC, I want this video to be relevant for a pretty long time, so I cannot really give you specific parts right now. What I'm gonna do, or well, what I did, is I made a channel in my Discord server specifically for PC builds. There are 3 builds there, low, mid, and high budget. My Discord link is in the description description you can find the part lists there. Now the keyboard and the mouse are both from Razer. I would have never expected to use Razer in a budget setup, but it turns out that this mouse, for example, is actually pretty cheap compared to other mice. It is the Razer Death Adder Essential. This was my first mouse like 10 years ago, I don't know. Then the keyboard, this was an even bigger surprise. I didn't think I would be able to get an RGB keyboard for around $30, let alone a Razer one. Now this is the Razer Ornata, I think that's how you pronounce it, V3. The one I found for $29, which I will show on the screen right now, was a big discount. It was a Razer Ornata Chroma, however it looks pretty much the same, and I couldn't buy that one here in Belgium, so I bought the V3. So I did factor in $30 for the keyboard, and look at this. Now I want to type on it, but if you can find this keyboard for such a big discount, that's an amazing deal. Now this is a membrane keyboard if I'm not wrong. It's not going to be a completely mechanical keyboard for this price, and yeah, we can hear a lot of clicks without really feeling mechanical. But I mean, when I was younger and I was building my first setup, if I would have had a keyboard like this, I would have been on top of the world. It also comes with a wrist rest, and it has a beautiful Razer logo on it. By the way, before we check out this Razer mouse, the chair that I'm using is a Wish.com chair. However, this is the kind of chair that you see a lot on Amazon for around $80, $90, $100, $110. And even though I've mentioned in a lot of videos that the chair is actually pretty crappy, there's not a lot of support on your back, there's not a lot of filling in it. On the back you can literally see the steel bars popping out. However, if you want a real gamer chair and you don't really have the budget to get like a $300-400 gaming chair, then these chairs are definitely decent. I've been using this at my reacting setup where I film like the setup reacts and stuff, and the chair still didn't break down. I thought it would break down and like bend backwards or like break, because this here is the only part that keeps the chair from bending backwards, and I really thought that it would break right here, but yeah, it still didn't. So I will link this kind of chair in the description. There's a lot of them, you won't find the exact one. Now this mouse, this is complete nostalgia for me. As I said before, my first gaming mouse, I bought this to play Call of Duty. Actually no, I might be wrong. I think I bought the mouse to play Combat Arms. If you know that game, well, if you've played that game and hearing the name doesn't send you straight back in time, then you're not a real gamer. I'm gonna plug the mouse into the PC and I'm gonna take our mouse pad. Now the mouse is pretty simple. It was marketed as an FPS mouse in the past. I'm not sure what they market it now. Ergonomic wired gaming mouse. And you basically have the scroll wheel and then two macro buttons on the side. I mostly use this for browsing the internet to go like the previous page and the next one. And of course while gaming, maybe to swap weapons, stuff like that. Now since this is a budget gaming and streaming setup, I didn't go for those XXL mousepads, the ones that cover your whole desk, but I did go with a big one because I want to be able to play FPS games, and we are already running out of space. But look at this, it does fit the desk, and this is the perfect mousepad for when you need a lot of mouse movements without going for like the stylish, really wide mousepads. However, I do love them, but I just checked and this mousepad was $15. However, the really wide ones are mostly like $30, so I could not justify spending that in a budget setup. Now, choosing the lights and the webcam wasn't an easy task. First of all, for the webcams, it's really hard to know what kind of budget someone would like to spend on the webcam itself when having a total budget of like $1,000, for example. You could choose to buy a camera of like $500 and then save on all the rest of the parts because you think that the image quality is the most important thing. But then maybe gaming is like your main thing and you just want to stream on the side with like your webcam border in the corner while you're gaming. Well, in that case, either of these webcams would be fine. I'm soon gonna make a webcam comparison video, so you can subscribe to see that in case you want a lot more options. The ones I chose right now are, first of all, one of the cheapest webcams available. This is 720p quality, and then on the other hand, this here is the Logitech C920, and this is like the holy grail for passable stream quality. I'm gonna connect both of them because we're gonna check out both of them. Now, choosing which lights to use in the setup was kind of tricky because usually when you use really cheap lights, when they are shining on you and then not on the background because they are really weak, sometimes the end result can be worse than just leaving on your room light, making sure that it's kind of shining on you instead of from the back, and then just streaming that way. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna leave my room light on and then just use this to shine on my face to make it a bit more bright than the background. By the way, you can also use this to light your background, so look at that. You can see the LED panel here. It's a bunch of LED lights, and then there's a diffuser. However, this is a pretty crappy one, but I think if we leave the room light on, that we're definitely gonna get a good result with these. We're gonna test it out. This is what happens if you have concentration problems. I completely forgot to put this here in between. By the way, I've already used these lights in a previous video, and back then it was also very obvious that that this is just a selfie stick. As you can see, you can extend it, and it even had a wristband. However, I did cut it off. The upside of these lights is that you get two of them for a very affordable price. The downside of them is that the stand is huge. You need to plug them into a USB port of your PC, and then you can turn them on with this remote here. Let's try. They don't turn on. Of course, my PC isn't powered yet. And then I'm gonna put the second one right here. Let's try to aim it towards us. Also plug this in. So what we need to install now is the second monitor, which is a China monitor, which I'm really curious for. Then the microphone, which is a crucial part in the setup, not only for streaming, but also for gaming, like for voice chat and stuff. And I also found a headset that's very affordable. Now, I did test one that's similar to this. However, in that series, I did test out a wireless version of this headset. And after filming the video, I did use it for like a few weeks straight. I did like the headset, and for a budget setup like this, a wired version did make sense. The headphones also come with an extra cable. I just noticed that, and I think this is gonna be a splitter. Yep. So you can use them like this, but you can also just use a splitter, and you have like one for listening and then one for the microphone. So we can plug both of them right here in the front panel of the PC, which, by the way, I'm gonna have to put on the ground to make room for our second screen. All right, now the microphone is for after that. I'm gonna put it here. We're gonna need scissors for that. Where are my scissors? All right, now concentration problems. I'm gonna keep repeating it. Ouch. Man, you just know that this package, this monitor, has been through some stuff before it arrived right here in Europe, in Belgium. This packaging is crazy. Now, the price of this monitor, which is smaller than that one, by the way, that one was around $109. This one here was $89. So I'm curious to see if it was worth saving 20 bucks to get this one instead of that one, or if I should have just gotten a second one of that for here. This tape is extremely annoying. They taped the whole thing. What is this? Oh, wow. It's a universal travel adapter. That's the first time I see something like this coming with a product. Comes with an HDMI cable. That's also pretty neat. And this is a pretty cool stand. It's also metal, not plastic. Now, the stand and like the arm are like really thin. So I'm curious how it's gonna look and if it's gonna be really stable or not. Let's check out the monitor itself. It looks kind of similar to the Scepter one. Take it out of the plastic. It's also like really thick at the bottom and then completely thin on top. And look at that. It simply has no branding on the front. Like, I've never seen this before. There is no logo right here. It looks like we customized our monitor in order to be very sleek. Let's attach these together. And so now we have 4 screws to attach the stand to the monitor itself. I hope we can use a drill. We can. And it doesn't really attach. Let's try again with a bit more pressure. Ah, there we go. Alright, so the stand is sturdily connected to the screen and it feels kind of great. It's very light. It's not that much smaller than the 24-inch. This is 21.5 if I'm not wrong, or 22-inch. This is gonna be perfect for like stream chat, OBS Studio, Spotify, Discord, all that kind of stuff. It does come with an EU plug and then with a converter that seems kind of useless since it's also an EU plug. However, after further investigation, as you can see, look at this. Boom. You can just unlock this and then this US plug pops out like this. I've never seen this before, but yeah, you can also just push it in, then lock it, and as you can see, you can just pop it out. Okay, now I did turn on the PC. The second screen turned on, and at first glance, it looks definitely pretty sharp. Sometimes there are these very cheap screens, but then when you turn them on, like, you can absolutely see the pixels, like they're 480p instead of 1080p. However, with this one, I don't think we're gonna have that problem. So in that case, it's gonna be an awesome secondary monitor. You don't need much more than just being able to see what's on the second monitor. Now, a problem that I have right here is that both of these monitors only use HDMI, and the pretty crappy graphics card that I have in this PC here has only one HDMI and then one display port. So currently I'm not really sure how I'm gonna use both of them. I will definitely make sure that the recommended PC part list on my Discord all have enough ports. This is a really crappy GPU. And we can already go ahead and then turn on the lights. So I'm gonna show you 1, 2, 3. Boom, it works. Let's take the second one, turn it on, and there we go. At least we've got that working already. We definitely need to install the mic as soon as possible. The RGB of the keyboard already turned on as well, and look at this. It looks absolutely amazing. If you can get this keyboard at the discount, I would definitely advise to do it. The look of it is absolutely amazing, and the mouse also has RGB. So for a $30 mouse that is from a well-known brand, I think this is a pretty good deal. Now, if you take a quick look at the second monitor here, it has crazy ghosting, so it's definitely not a high quality monitor. My editor will pause the screen when I'm moving to the left, and you will see that the white is coming into the frame of Steam. Text also becomes extremely unreadable as soon as you move something, and I mean the ghosting is crazy. Now I have a temporary solution here. I did install a second PC for that screen just so we can see like how it looks with two screens. So here's the thing. The reason that the screens don't work with the PC or with the graphics card is that both of the monitors have HDMI ports only. Usually nowadays monitors have HDMI and DisplayPort, however these ones don't. And my GPU has one HDMI port and 3 ports for DisplayPort cables. So if your main monitor is like a decent monitor that has DisplayPort, then you can use one of these two monitors as a second one and it'll all be good. However, if you buy 2 of these or 2 of these or like the combination of them, then you will need an adapter to convert HDMI to DisplayPort. So you can plug one of these two monitors into a DisplayPort, or you will need to check your GPU and see if it has 2 HDMI ports. In that case, you're all fine. However, we're gonna check out the microphone, but I am really impressed with the second monitor. It's an amazing option. So as mentioned before, it costs $89 and it's 22-inch, but it's perfect as a second monitor. I will definitely link it in the description. Now, this microphone is extremely popular. It's the Fifine K669B. I've used it a bunch before. It's a great budget $29 microphone, and I can't wait to test all of this together with the webcams, lights, microphone. I'm gonna do it in a second. So as promised, besides turning off my big softbox, I'm also gonna turn on my room lights, because these two lights here will barely light your face enough, let alone that they will light the whole room to the back, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so these are the two webcams. I think it's pretty clear which one is the winner. I can also show you how they would look when you are gaming. Oops. Okay, so this is also a pretty good comparison. The C920 is absolutely good enough if you use it for gaming. This is an example of the webcam full screen. There's a reason why this is the most popular webcam. It's around $70. It looks great, and I'm absolutely happy with this setup overall. Now, one thing I need to note, using a microphone arm will absolutely help to make your voice sound much warmer compared to the microphone being a bit further away from you. I'm extremely happy with how the setup turned out. I will link all the products in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you in one of my next videos. Have a nice day.